Hello, my name is Julio Adrian Longoria. Today is Sunday, March 15, 2026. The current time is 2:59 p.m. Central Time, and this is for CPMT 2433 TY1 Computer Integration Hybrid. This is for Chapter 4 Labs, and I'll be summarizing projects 4.1 to 4.9, omitting 4.4. Let's go ahead and begin with project 4.1, which is cleanup, clearing old configurations. So from server manager, by going to the remove and roles and features, you'll be presented with the wizard here. And from here, I had uninstalled, as you can see, DHCP server and Windows deployment services. Basically, it's just as simple as unchecking the box and clicking remove features. Also, I uninstalled Windows Admin Standard version 2, but this was done outside of Server Manager by right-clicking Start, Apps and Features. Considering that it's been uninstalled, it's not showing here, but essentially you would right-click on the application and uninstall. Let us move on to project 4.2, Active Directory installation. So from here we go to manage, add roles and features. From here, as you can see, Active Directory Domain Services has been installed. You simply check the box and complete the installation, upon which here notifications. There's a notification here that will appear where you would be able to select or click on promote this server to domain controller to complete the installation. In order to create a DNS server, you right click the server domain here, configure DNS server, go through the wizard process, so name, for example, domain123.com, apply the necessary changes, or settings, until you get to the finish, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel. So this was just for demonstration. Let's check the network. Here, IPv4 properties. Use the following DNS server address, preferred DNS server, and this is the address assigned for this project. Now, in DNS Manager, properties. These are all the IP addresses shown for this server. Forwarders. Notice that for these three IP addresses, it's by default set to unable to resolve. So it's something to note. Lastly, we will need to start PowerShell as admin and run the following commandlets, starting with this one, which will confirm the flexible single master operation, or FSMO roles. The second one here, view the forest-wide FSMO roles. And the last one here, to view domain-wide FSMO. Let us move on to project 4.3, which is functional levels. Open Active Directory Domain and Trusts. So, tools, domain trusts. Okay, and from here we'd be able to raise the domain functional level. However, considering that if I already raise it to the highest possible level, I'm unable to make any changes. But from here, essentially, it would be prompt to the different window, which will provide you with a drop-down menu, and you get to select the level um, that you want to set for the domain. Let us move on to project 4.5, which is sites. So from Server Manager, we will start the Active Directory sites and services. As you can see here, these are the sites I've created. However, but to create a new site, select the site folder, new site, give it a name, select the default IP site link, click OK. Notice that in order to finish the configuration, you need to ensure that the new site is linked to other sites with site links as appropriate, and add subnets for the new site to subnet container, and install one or more domain controllers in a new site, or move to an existing DC into the site. I'm going to go ahead and delete this since it was just a demonstration. And essentially, to create multiple sites, it would be the same process overall. Subnets. Select the subnet folder. Here you can see the current subnet set for Chicago site, Paris site, and Toronto site. Chicago and Paris site is set to a static IP with the prefix of 16, and Toronto site is set with a completely different IP with a 24 length prefix. To add a new subnet, right click on the folder and select new subnet. From here, it provides you examples of how to type in either the IPv4 or IPv6 subnet, and you select the site you want to apply it to. Here, initially, currently, actually, sites are in this site link, as you can see, but initially they're over here on this side. So by selecting one, considering that it's on this side, you'll be able to remove. However, to add, you would select it from this side, click add, and it will move it over here. These are the default settings. Here, change schedule. So based on the instructions mentioned for this project, it's required me to set the schedule for replication not available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday through Friday, and replication is available all day or throughout Sunday, throughout Saturday, Monday through Friday from 12 a.m. to before 8 a.m. so 7:59, let's say, and after 6 p.m. onward, Monday through Friday. Let us now move on to project 4.6, which is global catalog. Again, for the Active Directory sites and services, we could enable global catalog on target domain controllers. So here I have selected the Paris site, and selecting and right-clicking on NTDS site settings properties, we can enable universal group membership caching and refresh cache from the select site here. Take a look over here for Chicago properties. Notice that it's not enabled here, and gives you the option to cache from the Toronto site. Let us move on to project 4.7, which is objects. So from Server Manager, we will start the Active Directory users and computers, which is right here. And from here, you are able to create organizational units, or OUs. Right click on Domain, New Organizational Unit, give it a name. Here's an example of one I've created for marketing. And from here you could add a computer, add a group, or user. Just supply the information needed. For computer and group. Templates, marketing, template. Here we can see domain users and marketing G. And we could add another group if needed. Let's move on to project 4.8, Active Directory Admin Center. So from Server Manager, we'll be able to start Active Directory Administrative Center. Notice how it looks similar to Server Manager. And you could make changes to the domain controller here, raise the forest function levels, add new groups, user or computers. So notice that I've already enabled the recycling bin. So let's go to, for example, marketing. Select John. And let's delete John. John is gone. However, if we want him back, we go to delete object, select his name, and restore. Or right click, restore. And we go back to marketing, and there John reappears once again. Let us move on to the last project, which is 4.9, read-only domain controllers, or RODCs. So from here we can prepare a domain for RODC. So selecting the domain 492 domain controllers. From here you can see we can select it from here, pre-create a read-only domain controller account, or right click and go through the process. Right here you provide a computer name, and this is where I will stop, considering that the process is a lengthy process, but essentially once everything is set up, here we can select the RODC I created properties. And go to policy, scroll down, password replication policy, and these are the current groups and users assigned to the RODC1. The only one that's allowed here is the allowed RODC power replication group. All the other ones are set to deny. So in order to add groups, users, and computers, you would choose the setting for the account that you are adding the password replication policy to. So from here you could allow passwords to the account to replicate to this RODC or deny. So I am unable to demonstrate what would occur if I was to delete the RODC I created. However, upon trying to delete the RODC, you will be prompted with a notice indicating that all passwords will be reset upon deletion of the RODC account. So this concludes my Chapter 4 lab summary. Thank you for watching.